Hello, federal employees. As you could probably see if you're watching this on YouTube, I am in a different location, different part of the office. Thought I'd change it up to keep it nice and fresh for you. But welcome back to this podcast, this video. It is great to be with you today. I'm sitting on a couch, so if you hear the squeaks, that's why. So today, we are talking about a topic that I think is extremely important for federal employees, and one that is not stereotypically around your benefits, right? It's a little off the beaten path. I have not talked about this before. You have probably not heard it specifically addressed in this way. So let's dig right in. So this week's topic is why net worth is worth so much more than your income. When we talk about financial metrics, or basically the way we could track our progress, right? At school, we have our progress report. We have our report card to say, hey, this is how you're doing, right? In life, there's a few of these metrics that we can use to say, okay, financially, how am I doing? Am I on the right path? Am I doing well? Am I improving? How do we track our progress? And there's income, you could look at income, you could look at credit score, you look at net worth. There's all kinds of different metrics that you could look at to say, okay, am I doing better than I did last year, right? And when we're talking about the ultra wealthy, when you look up, let's say, the Bill Gates of the world, or the Jeff Bezos, all these people, what people automatically search for, and myself too, and I'm sure you as well, you search for what is the net worth of. We rarely search for what is the income of so-and-so, right? But when it comes to the average Joe, when we're talking about, let's say, our neighbor, or the person down the street, we almost never ask about their net worth. We don't say, what's your net worth? We don't, sometimes we talk about the TSP balance, right? I'm sure sometimes you get into your coworkers with that. But often it's like, okay, what do you make? You know, are you a GS 13? Or what's your income? That's the things that we look at in our society. Is like, wow, he makes so much a year, wow. And when people are thinking about working for the federal government, as I'm sure you thought about, you knew that the income is typically way lower than let's say, if you took the exact same position as a contractor, right? So income matters, it does, and we all know it does. But if I had to make an argument on this, and I'm about to, I would say income matters way less than net worth. Of course, income and net worth are correlated, meaning if you have a high income, the odds of you having a high net worth are higher. Of course, we all know this. But there are tons and tons of outliers of people that do not follow that rule, especially as federal employees. I'm sure you have heard all the stories of those federal employees who really never made too much during their career. They really never had huge incomes, but they were able to save consistently and build their net worth over time with investments, with their TSP, that they were in an incredible financial spot by the time retirement came around because they focused on their net worth and not their income. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't grow your income. Of course you want to, right? But I think you should put just as much emphasis on growing your net worth over time. And there are three main reasons why I think that. And I got my handy dandy little laptop here with these three reasons, and I'm going to go through them to talk through, okay, why exactly does it make more sense to focus on net worth over income? Let's dig right in. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, the equation for calculating your net worth is you take everything you own, all the money in your accounts, money everywhere that you have, everything you own, you add all that up, that's your assets, that's what you own. You subtract your debts or your liabilities, which is basically, let's say, credit card, mortgage, auto loans, all that good stuff. You subtract that out. And whatever you're left with at the end, that is your net worth. So, for example, let's say you have $300,000 in your TSP. You own a home that is worth $300,000, that's $600,000. Let's say you have other savings of about $100,000, so maybe let's say $700,000 is your net worth, right? Or not your net worth, but your assets. That's what your assets add up. But let's say you owe $200,000 on your mortgage. Let's say you have some credit card debt, you have some auto loans. You subtract all those things out of all your assets, and you'd come to your net worth. And the reason why I think this number is so important is because in today's society, especially in the United States and in other parts of the world as well, but especially in the United States, is that it is a consumer-driven economy where we are just inundated all the time with buy, buy, buy. You don't have the money, no worries, 0% down for 16 months, whatever. Where you can basically get anything you want whenever you want, whether you can afford it or not. And the banks and the people lending you money, the credit card companies, they are incentivized to loan you money even if you can't afford it, or you shouldn't buy it. Maybe you can't afford it over the next 24 months of paying it down, but is it the best financial decision for you? Odds are not, if you're taking on debt to make it happen. And so the reason why this is so important, because in the world that we're in, where debt is so prevalent, I think that's a huge thing that we have to take into consideration when thinking about our financial life and our financial well-being and how we're doing, is we have to look at our debt. And the net worth formula adds that in, where of course you want to save in your TSP, of course you want to increase what you own in your assets and your retirement savings, all these things, yes. But if you do not keep your debt in check, if you do not continually pay that down, if you do not continually work on it, your net worth won't increase. Many people spend, and they can never get ahead because they're constantly paying payments, paying interest, and they're constantly overextending themselves, buying things that they could not afford at the time. And yeah, they can afford it, I guess you could say, over, let's say, 24 months of paying it off, or month to month on the credit card, however you want to look at it, but it still stretches them and they're paying way too much in interest, way too much in fees, all these things that it just doesn't make sense for them. And over time, this just stacks up. And those that didn't overextend themselves, that use that cash to save for the future, to be prepared, and only bought things that they truly cared about and really focused on value, well, they were so much farther ahead. So that's number one. That is the first reason why net worth is so crucial, and you should be thinking about it, is because debt is so prevalent. And I know some federal employees have no debt, and that is amazing. So if that doesn't apply to you, that is incredible. Pat yourself on the back. If it does, think about it. What do you need to change to be able to get yourself where you want to go? Okay, let's jump on. So, number two, the second reason why income is important, but net worth is more important, is the IRS taxes. The IRS comes after income way more than it does net worth. And let me show you how this works. Basically, if you make, let's say, another $30,000 in a year, the IRS is going to come in and take a huge chunk of that, depending on your tax bracket. But when it comes to your net worth, when it comes to saving for retirement, let's say in the traditional TSP or the Roth TSP, there are huge tax advantages for doing that. Or even if you're just saving in, let's say, a regular account and you're investing that money, a regular brokerage account, and you pay capital gains rates if you keep an investment for over a year. Those taxes are traditionally way lower than your just normal tax bracket that you pay on regular income. And so if you make more money, the IRS is going to take a bigger and bigger portion of that because of our progressive tax system. Basically, the more money you earn, the higher percentage of every extra dollar you make goes to the government. That's just the system that we live in. And so the more money you make is great. It's a great thing to earn more money, but no, at a certain point, you're going to start paying 50% of every extra dollar that you make to the government once your income goes over certain limits. And so you have to just remember that yes, income is important, but if you only focus on increasing your income and not your net worth, you're going to really pay a lot of taxes over the course of a career and in retirement. But if you focus on tax strategies and growing your net worth in tax advantaged ways, that is how you build true wealth and you really become financial independent over time. So that's number two. Okay. Number three, and this one's a little, I guess, hippy-dippy if you want to say, and that is when you focus on net worth, it changes your mindset, right? Where it may not actually, when I talk about taxes, when I talk about debt, I mean, those are real things, right? When I talk about mindset, that's harder to actually show on paper. It makes a huge difference, but it's harder to actually show in real life. but I have seen how it changes people's lives forever. It truly does. And the reason thinking about net worth and emphasizing net worth really, really changes your mindset is that it changes you from a short-term thinker to a long-term thinker. Could you, let's say, as a federal employee, go take a job on the private side and make maybe twice as much? Yeah. There are many federal jobs where you can make tremendous amounts more on the private side. But when it comes to your benefits, when it comes to the whole picture, the long-term view, that may not be the best decision. So you have to look at the whole picture. You have to look at the long-term view, and that is your net worth view over a long period of time. Could you take that job and double your income this next year? Yeah, you could. But to double your net worth, depending on where your net worth is, that can be very difficult, right? And at the beginning, it can be easy to double your net worth, but as you get going and look at the truly long term and where you want to be in retirement, how financially free you want to be in life, now that becomes a lot more difficult to do quickly. It takes time, it takes baby steps, it takes consistency and diligence all throughout the process. So yes, I'm not bashing income. If you have high income, that is an incredible thing, and you are extremely blessed, and continue to grow that income. That's great. But along with that, improve your net worth, improve your savings, improve these things that are actually going to bring you freedom in life. And yes, buying cool things, that's great. I love my cool gadgets, my cool things that I have. But if you are not invested in your future, then those things, they fade away. They fade away, and the security that you would have had by investing in your future is so much more powerful that over time it is just a million miles apart. So that is my thoughts for today. I hope this is helpful. And again, I do these videos not because I have to, not because my business depends on it, right? I'll be fine whether or not I do these videos. I do these videos to hopefully share with as many federal employees as I possibly can about their benefits, about their financial life in a way that makes sense, that's simple, and that you can apply in your life. So whether you're listening to a podcast, watching me on YouTube, wherever you are at, thank you for being here and investing in yourself. And the only thing I do ask is please subscribe, join the community. There are some great people here. Put a comment in the comments below. Do something. Get engaged. Learn, improve yourself, and you will thank yourself for the rest of your life, in your federal career, even if you don't stay with the federal government forever. When you learn the things about your benefits, about your retirement, when you think about your future, that changes who you are and the mindset and how you approach life, and you improve yourself. So, thank yourself for being here, and I do thank you as well. And you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you next time.